2,000 people we have helped break into medical device sales here at New to Medical Device Sales. And I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who has allowed us to be a part of your journey. And it's been absolutely amazing to see over the last 2.5 years of all the people we've been able to help not only break into medical device sales, but also be able to go and thrive in medical device sales. It's been amazing to work with individuals with no clinical experience, no sales experience, no background of any sort in sales or medical device sales. We've been able to show that you actually don't need it, that you can get the job by doing the job and being able to do it the right way. And I just want to take a moment to say thank you to every single person who's allowed us to be a part of your journey.
I would not be where I am today without Jacob and his program.
And I broke into medical device sales using Jacob's course.
Jacob's course is just that resource.
Definitely one of the best investments that I've done for myself.
Jacob McLaughlin is the mentor you didn't know you needed.
And I can honestly say it's changed my life forever.
Can't wait to help more people break into medical device sales, and can't wait for the next several thousand people we help over the upcoming years. Welcome back to First Year in Medical Device Sales. I am your host, Jacob McLaughlin, and today I'm so excited to be coming to you guys today. As you guys just saw right before this, it's a special moment for me as we've been able to officially help over 2,000 people break into medical device sales. It's been such an incredible journey. It's been so much fun, and I just want to say thank you to every single person who watches our stuff, who is in the industry, who was trying to get in the industry, to everybody who shared our stuff. It just truly means the world, because even today of this recording, we literally just got somebody with an associate degree, no experience, hired at $108,000. They just text me and they just confirmed their written offer, just signed it all, so it's official. It's just truly incredible getting to do this every single day. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who just allowed me to be a part of their journey for those 2,000 people, and who will allow me to be a part of their journey going forward. And as you guys know, being here at First Year In, we don't only just get people hired in med device sales. We've also helped people go from making 60, 70, 80K. They were an associate sales rep, or they were even like a full line sales rep making under 110K. They've come and joined us, and we've helped them get hired at over $150,000, $200,000. So it's been a lot of fun. I really appreciate everybody who allows us to be a part of their journey, and it's the absolute best. I also want to say thank you. Great shout out to everybody who came out to Tampa this last week. We were back in the East Coast on last week, and we did our New to Medical Device Sales Meetup, where we had time for people who are trying to break into the industry, and we also had people who are reps inside the industry come and join us. Just a time for us to connect. It's always like a family feel for me, where again we come and meet, we get to hang out. I take everybody out to dinner, and it's just a good time to just be able to connect, learn about everybody, and just want to say truly thank you from the bottom of my heart. It is truly amazing to see where we're at, to have people fly in from Indianapolis, from Baltimore, from driving 8 hours from Atlanta. It truly means the world, and I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you who made the effort to come out, and we will definitely be doing more in the future. We are located here in Scottsdale, could be one here, might be doing another West Coast. I haven't even done a Midwest one, so might have to get something out there in the Midwest as well. Why I wanted to make today's episode is we had a talk with some of the people that were inside the meetup, and they just had conversations of, okay, once I break into the industry, how do I continue to be successful? Now, this is something we continue to teach and we help with inside of our program that we offer. And so this is something that you guys can always learn inside that process. But I want to continue to give you guys free value, free knowledge, and just continue to help you guys. Because again, at the end of the day, I always hope you guys hear from me that don't need a dollar from you, don't want a dollar from you. We do what we do every single day just to continue to help people. It's why we've had so much success. It's why we have so many testimonial videos. Because again, we're just trying to help you guys get the return on investment that you want. But we just are able to do it quickly. So I just wanted to make today's episode of, what do you need to do in your first 12 months? And this will be able to go for whether you're an associate sales rep, whether you're a full line rep. What should you be doing in medical device sales to really stand out, to really have success? And so I just want to have a couple conversations with you all, because again, I'd say this to people and then they're like, oh my gosh, well, I should be doing ABC. And the thing I'll just sit here and tell you, it's actually not overcomplicated on how to be successful in med device sales. You'll talk to a lot of reps, you'll talk to a lot of people, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, it's like one of the hardest things to do. And that's why there's not that many top 10 performers. If I can just make your life easy, I'll give you a couple tips and I'll expand on them on how easy it is. It goes back to when I was breaking into med device sales and I was a personal trainer, I had the opportunity to just train a lot of very financially successful individuals. Again, like you guys will hear me always say, just because someone makes a lot of money doesn't mean they're successful, but they were financially successful in business. They had been successful. Always like to ask and learn from them. And one of the things that I was told by one of the really successful guys I trained is he said, Jacob, no matter what you do, make sure you do these things. Make sure you treat others better than they treat you. Make sure that you always keep your word, and make sure that you always do the work. If you can do the work, treat others better than they treat you, and actually just do the work, put in the work, there's not a chance you won't be successful. And so the reason I'm sitting here telling you guys is that's what it comes down to. If you want to be successful in med device sales, there's so much that goes into it. But let me just make your guys' life easy is when you guys first get into med device sales, everyone always talks about the deals they're going to close, especially in the first 3 to 6 months. They're like, I'm going to close this $1 million deal. I'm going to do this. And it's like, you don't even know what product you're selling yet, right? And so the reason I say that is it's just continuing for yourself to learn. How do you stand out? And what I talked to people at the Meetup this last week about is here's the honest to God truth when it comes to most reps inside of medical device sales. Most of them do not keep their word. Most of them will send an email, say that they'll follow up, say that they'll bring stuff, say that they'll show up to a surgery, say that they'll even bring donuts or bring food to a meeting, and then they don't. And then they don't show up, and then they don't follow up because they could be just having all their stuff that they're going to make excuses for. Like they forgot about the meeting. They didn't put in their calendar. They didn't put reminders. They didn't set follow-ups for confirming just all these different things. They could have had something else come up, but forgot to text, like all these different things. But I'll sit here and tell you how I was able to always have success in med device sales and how I'm able to help our people still have success in med device sales every day. It's continuing to level yourself up. But so many people, I get on calls literally on the daily, and it's like most people just can't follow through with their word. They can't actually say what they're going to do and then actually do it. I'll just tell you even now, like the people in our program, the people we work with, like I get on calls with, like I said, you guys every day. And the most common thing is, I promise you I will do ABC. And you know what almost nobody ever does? The A, B's, and C's. It's really not that hard. Life's really not that hard. Med device sales really not that hard. It's if you say you're going to drop off an implant, you drop off the implant. If you say you're going to be at a place at 7 a.m., you're there at 7 a.m. You're there probably a little earlier. If you said you're going to send a follow-up email, you send a follow-up email. If you say before the meeting on Wednesday at 3 p.m. that you're going to confirm the day before, you just do what you say you're going to do and you confirm the day before. But it is absolutely mind-blowing how many reps, how many people don't do that. And then what they'll always do is they'll always blame everybody else. They'll blame the accounts, they'll blame the nurses, they'll blame the surgeons, they'll blame the competitors, they'll blame their company, they'll blame the manager, it's always the blame game. But like what we talked about at the Tampa Meetup is it's always extreme ownership. If you guys are having accounts that aren't having good surgeries, why? Are they not getting in service as well? Are people not paying attention? Have you not done trainings enough? Where can you come in and make a difference in your territory? And most people don't do that. They just point fingers all the time. And so what I would just sit here and tell you guys is we always talk about like extreme ownership is just knowing everything's your fault. And then again, at the end of the day, if a surgery goes wrong at a hospital, it's your problem. It's what you have to deal with because nobody else cares about it. Even the hospitals, they don't really care about it for the fact that they will be on you and say, hey, this went wrong. But it's just, you got to be a rep and you got to be good at what you do. That's what I really want you to focus on is continuing to progress your life, continue to progress who you are, and make sure that you always take extreme ownership. Now, again, if you're an associate sales rep, I always tell you guys, even if you're a full line rep, this is what I always tell you. The first 6 months, close your eyes. Learn the products, learn your accounts. Everybody, again, always will chase the next deal, but it's like you don't even know the accounts you're currently at. And a lot of times, you people will have 10, 15, 20 accounts that you're already taking over. So what I would sit here and tell you the first 3 to 6 months, just go focus on that. Go focus on introducing yourself. Focus on finding out what they like. Some of the questions I always asked, I would go meet with them. And I would say, hey, I always like to come and meet with you guys and just learn what you really enjoyed, what the past rep did really well, and what the past rep could have been improved on, right? And then right there, they're going to tell you exactly what they're looking for. And then they're going to tell you exactly what not to do. And then from there, you know exactly what to do. And then you say, hey, I can sit here and tell you all day that I'm going to make the best experience for you, but honestly, talk is cheap. And I just hope to build that relationship with you over the next 12 plus months, and can't wait to see where it goes with us and just continue to follow through and say that I keep my word, right? Just put it. And then now it's your job to continue and continuously follow through on your word. So that's why I would just tell you guys, it's really not rocket science. The first 3 to 6 months is just continuing to come in, meet people, introduce yourself, then go get contacts, show that they actually like you, care about you. You actually care about them. You're continuing to provide value. Then it's always extreme ownership. If something's going wrong, it's because of me. And then understanding that you always have something that you probably could be doing to continuing to make your territory better. Now, number 2, when we go into, all right, hey, that's just doing the work, just so you guys know. It goes in extreme ownership, doing the work, right? Do the work. Now it goes into, hey, treat others better than they treat you, right? And that's just the honest to God truth. You guys have known this if you're in med device sales. You're going to meet the reps, you're going to meet other managers, you're going to meet literally OR directors, nurses, scrub techs. They don't like you just because you are a med device rep. And unfortunately, it's not fair. It sucks. But that's what we are walking into when we are the med device rep, right? Like they all, especially if you're an associate, you could be making 65, 85, 95K, and they all think you're making 300 grand and they are just super rude to you. So again, it's just always make sure that you kill them with kindness, right? It's never going to do any good to get edgy with them, right? It's just something that you have to learn, is just to turn the other cheek. And I will sit here and tell you guys, it can be extremely tough. It can be extremely tough when somebody's extremely rude to you. But I can sit here and tell you, as somebody who's done both, and it's why I'm just sharing my experience. I've done where I turn my other cheek and I just let them have their way. And I'm just like, okay. And again, I would never let them just walk all over me for the fact of like, you need to have some authority in the OR room, especially if it's your product. But like, if it's something that doesn't matter, right? Like if a scrub tech's yelling at you because of the 6-foot sterile field, which does like all the stuff, right? It's just like, all right, John, sounds good, man. And not make a big deal about it. But the reason I'll just sit here and tell you is like, you just continuing to work with those people, learn about it, not taking it to offense, but like, I'll sit here and tell you, like, I'm sharing from my own experience. There'd been times where it's like, hey, I didn't get pushback and I did get pushback. And I'll sit here and tell you every time, majority of the time when I gave pushback, it didn't ever help me. It would actually be like, oh, now they don't like me even more. And now it's making it even more difficult, right? And the only time I'll be transparent with you guys is when I did it a lot, is when I would walk in and they were just super rude to me right away. And I had a really good relationship with the doctor. And then I could just be like, you guys just need to check yourself because I'm here to help you guys and help they get the best outcome for the patient. Then if they wanted to continue to be extremely rude, I'll be like, hey, I have no problem going and talk with the surgeon. If you guys don't want me here, I can leave. And then all the stuff. And then usually the tone would turn of, no, please don't leave us. We don't know what we're doing, right? There was always that check. But I'm just sitting here telling you guys is just always kill them with kindness. Be respectful. Multiple accounts I can tell you in my first year in med device sales when I'm working at Medtronic, because again, I took over the lowest performing territory. People absolutely hated me. And not because I did anything wrong. I just walked in and I was the rep that they didn't like because I took over territory that wasn't doing well. But I killed them with kindness. And by the end of it, I had one of the ladies who literally hated me. When I would walk in, her face would light up and she'd be like, oh my gosh, how are you doing? And I'll never forget. She told me to come into a surgery on Thanksgiving. She knew that it was for that day. And then she's like, no, it's not today. All this stuff. Like there's all these things. Still got her a Christmas card, all this stuff. And I just killed her with kindness. And within 12 months went from, she would tell me wrong surgery. She would mess with me. She just was horrible to work with, to she was like my biggest fan. Every time I'd come in, she'd be like, oh, you're the best. Hey, can I help you? And they would literally just try to help me get more surgery. So kill them with kindness. It's always going to go well, right? Do the work. You got to make sure that you guys are being the one who does your work. And then lastly, again, just keeping your word. If you guys can just keep your word, again, like I said, most of these reps aren't successful because they don't keep their words. The amount of times that I would walk into an OR that they're like, oh, this rep said they would be here, didn't show up. And then all that's happening is they're getting back talked about that rep that didn't show up. And then it's like OR directors. I've made really good relationships with OR directors or people in materials management. And then it's like you learn that, reps would say, hey, I'll drop this off or I'll bring this. And then they never did. And then they're trying to follow up. And it's just all the things of, if you make someone's life easier, they're going to really enjoy you. If you make someone's life harder, they're not going to enjoy you at all. The easiest thing I can tell you is make sure you guys just make someone's life easier. Again, it can be being in the OR room. Like when I was in the OR room, it's like, hey, do you guys need extra supplies? I can go grab them because I know where they're at. And they're like, oh my gosh, that'd be so helpful. And I'm like, yeah, don't worry. And I would just help the nurses. And then again, I made really good friends with the nurses, right? So it's just being able to relate to these people. That's what I would sit here and tell you guys just to really focus on. And if you can do that, if you can continue to show up, if you can continue to keep your word, if you can continue to treat others better than they treat you, and then you just do the work, I can promise you things are going to really go well for you in medical device sales. My last little tip that I would just want to share with anybody is just over communicate. I talked about this in Tampa, and it was just having that conversation of like, for example, if I had a meeting on Wednesday, well, then I would confirm it on Monday or Tuesday, right? I'd be like, hey, just want to confirm we're still good, right? If it was like a Monday 3:00 meeting, I would be confirming on Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Hey, just want to confirm we're still good for tomorrow at 3 p.m. because that person's probably not going to respond for the first couple hours. And they'll be like, yep. Or if you know that person takes a little longer, you can reply on Monday, right? And so it's just making sure that you guys do that. Also, you just always need to over communicate, whether it's anything that's going on in the OR or if there's a conversation that you had. We always talk about just keeping yourself safe, being able to document it, send an email. You can send an email to yourself. You can send an email to a team member, whatever it is, and just being able to document it so you can always over communicate it. I hope it doesn't happen to you, but I can almost promise you at some point, somebody will say you did something that you didn't do, or somebody will say they didn't do something, which, for example, like what I mean by that is somebody will say, hey, don't worry about it, I have it covered. And then you show up and then they blame you because they said they had it covered, but then you took their word on it. And then they never remember telling you that they would have it covered. And then now you're in this pickle, right? So the reason I'm just sitting here telling you that could be with materials management, that can be with a nurse, that can be with an OR director, that can be with team members, whatever it is, just make sure that you always over communicate and you always document everything, because for your safety, you need to do that. And so I would just always say, document it. Like, for example, one of the things, over communicate, hey, I'm going to do an in-service. I'll be there at this time, at this date. Does this work? Yes. And then I would confirm it 1 to 2 other times just to make sure everyone's there. And then, because if it doesn't happen, it'll be like, well, I sent you 3 emails and you confirmed to them. Like, what do you mean? Right? There's that piece. But also, like, for example, I've talked about this. If I go and drop off a tray, I'm going to make sure I take a picture of that tray and go, because there's been plenty of times I walk in, the tray has nothing in it. And then they blame me and they're like, you didn't even bring us one. And then it's like, I have to show them the picture, what time I dropped it off, all the stuff. So it's just making sure you just always are documenting and saving yourself. But you guys, I really hope this was helpful. I just want you guys to know, I want you to win. If in the first 12 months, all you do is focus on your people and then you just do what you say you're going to do, you work really hard and you treat others better than they treat you, you come in and you take extreme ownership and you overcommit and you over communicate, I will promise you the first 12 months in med device sales will be awesome. But going back to it, everybody's always talking about, oh, what do I need to do with the doctors? Oh, what's my lunches? Oh, what's all this stuff? And it's like, you just need to talk to the people you have and see how you can provide value. And just so you know, you can literally go in and ask them how they want value provided, right? Hey, what's something the last rep did well, and what's something they didn't do as well that you would like to see? Literally will tell you what they're looking for. So press that like and subscribe button. If you can share this with somebody, it would mean the absolute world. And you guys, if you're really interested in learning about breaking into med device sales, or you're in med device sales, but you're not making the 150, the 200, you're not happy with where you're at, feel free to click the link below. Happy to set up a call with you all just to be able to help you guys, be able to have conversations with you all, because just know I want to continue to help you. It's nothing better than getting a call right before this podcast from Garrett. Shout out to you, G, on getting a offer for $108,000 when he wasn't even close to that. He has an associate degree and now he's in med device sales. Truly, it's what makes my day. So if you guys are really interested in breaking in med device sales, you want to learn, just continue to come and watch what we do. You can also go over to New to Medical Device Sales and see where all the success we have. Also, last thing I'll just say that is we always have the testimonial videos, so you can go see it. I don't just say this, I put it all out there for you guys all to see. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Again, excited to be able to help 2,000 people break in, and can't wait to help the next 2,000 people break into med device sales. And also can't wait to see you guys at the next meetup. Keep crushing it. Keep going after quota. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.